Okay, I'm going to do a walkthrough of how to do the WIET application. And yeah, so I don't know what the official URL is. I'm just going to start by Googling WIET Ohio and then search that. So I believe this first link here, this WIET, it's the Workforce Inventory of Education and Training, is the right link. Let me click and see. The website looks crazy. I thought that this was actually a joke when I first went to it, but no, it's legit and real. Thankfully, we've gotten our programs approved through this. So I'm going to uh, I'll go ahead and put in the email that will have this recording, uh, the link or the URL here. So this is the URL, and I'll have that in the email. What you have to do is under this login to system, you'll register as a training provider. And then when it's looking for this, this is like, this has 100 different names. The EIN or the tax ID, they're all the same. So basically, what you want, and some people for a nonprofit say that it's a tax exempt number. What it is it's your it's your tax TIN or EIN. It doesn't matter; it's interchangeable. But your tax identification number. Okay, so you would put that in there. I think this is ours, and then you click submit. Okay. And then for us, or for the provider that I helped with this, a training provider has already registered with the same tax number. You may contact the following individual for more on this training provider. Okay. So obviously, if you have an account already, it's going to let you know who to contact. So obviously, in a situation when you're setting that up brand new, uh, you won't have one. So you put in your tax ID, you click submit, and I think that there's, a small amount of information to fill out after that. So let's hop into, I'm going to cancel this and actually log in as me. Let's pretend you built the login credential, your username and password. You're going to sign in with that once that's made. And let's take a look at these options. Okay, so you fool around, you get the tax ID number in there, you build the username and password. Now let's, leap forward to the provider homepage once all that's made. You've got manage your renewed provider information, manage program, manage locations, da 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 da. So what we want to do is we want to go to this. Uh, I believe it's the manage programs that will allow me to make a new one. I want to see. Yes. Okay. When you click the manage programs tab, and again, that's what we want to click, manage programs, you will have none. Obviously, if this is the first time you've done this, what you want to do, and I'm going to do this, is, well, I'm sorry, what you want to do when you get to this page is click add new program. So I'm not going to do this. Put in the name of the program. If you were doing, the chemical dependency counselor assistant program, you would put that in there. I'll send you I'll put in PDF format our whole application so you can make the applicable or do the applicable inputs and have very similar phrasing to what we did. Program name, everything with the asterisk, of course, do. This is a little silly. You have to designate a location, like a building address or a name of a place you're going to hold service. You have to click this, and then you have to actually either select or select all if there's multiple locations and move it over to the selected one. I don't know why that is, and you can remove it. But if you do not move this from available to selected, and again, you highlight it by getting it clicked with that gray, and then you click select, move it over to selected. If you don't do that, it will say that you've not completed all the mandatory fields. So just be aware that that's a little bit tricky. The CIP code and title, again, this will all be within the application that I'll send in PDF format. I'll jump over to our actual application so you can see it. The ONET number, the clock time hours, like literally every single thing in this, including the fees and costs, I will include so you can see this. So let's jump back. And again, to do this, let me go to the provider home. Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter that okay, yes, I don't want to save any of those changes. So this is the provider home page. Manage your renew provider information. No, don't want to do that. Manage new program, or I'm sorry, manage program, I apologize. If you have programs already, they're here. If you want to add a new one, of course, add a new one. But more important than anything, once you added a new one, what do you put in there? Let me click on ours. So this is our fully filled out application. And as I mentioned, we selected our site. This is the correct CIP code. Ours is obviously an approved application. For the chemical dependency counselor assistant cert, that's the CIP code you want to use. That's the ONET code you want to use. These are all, like, these titles are auto-populated where it says like substance abuse / addiction counseling. I didn't type that in. That's auto-populated. Once you put in like this 51.1501, that comes up automatically, okay? And I believe the same thing with the ONET code. Like, it's not something you type in, meaning substance abuse and behavior disorder. That auto-populates, meaning it pops up right away and you select it. Definitely put this stuff in verbatim, like the clock time hours, and yeah, literally copy paste all this stuff. And if something's cut off, you can certainly ask me more about it, because in a PDF format, it looks like one box has a bit more text. I may just flat out copy paste this program synopsis thing out because I can see in PDF format it would be too long. Go identically down the line and mark in the tuition fees and registration fees, etc. 100% as you see them here. If you don't put in the fees correctly first, they'll approve you at a different pay level. Yeah, and it's hard. I mean, it's pretty much impossible to fix the output level, meaning how much you'll get paid if you don't put it in correctly the first time. Lastly, this shouldn't be an argument because, again, this has been all state accepted and we're doing it at this rate. You may debate, hey, it should be higher, it should be different. But at the end of the day, very unfortunately, like, they go off market statistics and other data. This was kind of the high level. We're actually working to boost this up because the career placement part is extremely time consuming. And we're attempting to get that increased. But at the very moment, all these numbers should be put in verbatim. And I think we can always make adjustments once this has been approved. So once everything is in, you'll click save, and it should go. Well, you may actually have like a continue or a submit button, in the situation where somebody is new. So that's filling out the application again. I'll get that in PDF format. Here's another important thing. When you submit or save and continue, whatever it takes to submit that application, and the button should, I think, make that fairly clear. You should see under program names, chemical dependency counselor assistant, your program status should be submitted once you've done all this. It probably won't have a renewal date. There will be nothing in that box. It will have a location date, a CIP date. All that will be in there except the program renewal date, and the status will be submitted. That's when you know all is well, okay? I get that that was a very high level overview, but it's not really much more difficult than a bunch of copying and pasting and making sure you accurately input data. Once you've done that, I will also include my email, and this is important. kind of glad I'm talking this out to myself. You'll also be able to follow up maybe in, I don't know, like 2 weeks, because that's about how long this takes. If you don't see that this has been approved, with a contact in the Office for Workforce Development that I will include in the email. Do not email them right away. They do get a lot of these applications. Wait for a couple weeks. And if you don't see that this status has been changed from, under review or submitted to approved, definitely email this person. And I can't recall, I know it's, yeah, I can't recall their name off the top of my head, so I'll just include it in the email. So yeah, those are the steps to becoming a WIET approved program and offering training to individuals in the community that want to get a career credential and, most importantly, a better career. Okay, so those are the steps. So at this point, I hope that was helpful. Certainly you can email me or text me any questions, and we will see how things pan out. Thank you.